You are about to discover the most powerful force in the universe, a force that lies dormant within you, waiting to be awakened. This force has built empires, conquered impossible odds, and transformed ordinary individuals into legends. It is not magic. It is not luck. It is the unwavering power of unshakable belief in yourself. Most people live their entire lives never tapping into this power. They surrender to doubt, bow to criticism, and allow their dreams to wither like flowers in winter. But you are different. You are here because something deep within you refuses to accept mediocrity. You sense there is more, much more, and today you will learn how to claim it. The principles I am about to reveal have been tested in the laboratory of human experience for over a century. They have transformed failures into millionaires, cowards into heroes, and dreamers into achievers. But knowledge without application is worthless. You must not merely listen. You must act. You must become. Your mind is the most sophisticated machinery ever created, yet most people operate it like a broken down jalopy sputtering down a country road. They fill it with doubt, fear, and the poisonous opinions of others, then wonder why their lives reflect nothing but struggle and disappointment. Here is the first truth you must engrave upon your consciousness belief. It is a state of mind that you control absolutely, not your circumstances, not your past failures, not the skeptics who surround you. You control your belief, and through belief, you control your destiny. Consider the difference between two men facing identical challenges. The first man approaches each obstacle with the unwavering conviction that he will find a way through, around, or over it. His mind immediately begins generating solutions, attracting opportunities, and magnetizing the resources he needs. The second man approaches the same obstacles consumed by doubt, already defeated before he begins. His mind shuts down, repels opportunities, and broadcasts his weakness to everyone around him. What separates these two men? Not intelligence, not luck, not background. The difference is belief, pure, unadulterated, unshakable belief in their ability to succeed. You must understand this. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined with emotion. When you repeatedly visualize yourself as confident, successful, and unshakable, your subconscious mind begins to accept this as reality. It then directs your conscious actions, your body language, your decisions, and even your luck to align with this self-image. The weak-minded individual allows random thoughts to drift through his consciousness like debris in a polluted stream. The person of unshakable belief stands guard at the door of his mind, admitting only those thoughts that serve his highest purpose. Here is your first assignment beginning today. You will monitor every thought that enters your mind for the next 30 days. When doubt creeps in, you will immediately replace it with its positive opposite. When fear whispers its poison, you will counter with affirmations of courage. When others attempt to plant seeds of limitation in your mind, you will reject them with the same firmness you would reject poison. Most people practice positive thinking like weekend warriors practice athletics, with sporadic bursts of enthusiasm followed by long periods of neglect. This approach produces nothing but frustration and eventual surrender to negativity. Persistent positive thinking is different. It is the systematic, deliberate, and continuous conditioning of your mind to operate from a position of strength, confidence, and expectation of success. It is not naive optimism that ignores reality. It is the strategic choice to focus your mental energy on solutions rather than problems, on possibilities rather than limitations. Your mind operates like a garden. Whatever seeds you plant consistently will eventually dominate the landscape. Plant seeds of doubt, and your mental garden becomes overrun with weeds of failure. Plant seeds of confidence and success, and these powerful forces will crowd out all opposition. Let me share with you the story of a young man who understood this principle profoundly. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before successfully creating the incandescent light bulb. When asked about his failures, he replied, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This is persistent positive thinking in action, the ability to reframe every setback as feedback, every failure as education, every obstacle as an opportunity to grow stronger. You must develop this same mental discipline. When you face rejection, you do not think, "I am not good enough." You think, "I am one step closer to finding the right opportunity." When you encounter criticism, you do not think, "They are right about my weaknesses." You think, "I am grateful for this feedback that will make me stronger." This is not self-deception. This is strategic thinking. This is mental toughness. This is the difference between those who rise and those who remain trapped in mediocrity. Create a daily practice of mental conditioning each morning before the world has a chance to assault you with its negativity. Spend 15 minutes visualizing yourself as the person you are becoming. See yourself handling challenges with calm confidence. Feel the satisfaction of achieving your goals. Experience the respect and admiration of others who recognize your strength and competence each evening. Review the day not with criticism for what went wrong, but with appreciation for what went right and determination to do even better tomorrow. This daily practice will gradually but permanently shift your default mental state from doubt to confidence, from fear to courage, from limitation to unlimited possibility. Your imagination is the workshop where all great achievements are first created. Every building, every invention, every success story began as a mental image in someone's mind. Yet most people use this incredible power to create detailed pictures of everything they fear instead of everything they desire. Visualization is not daydreaming. Daydreaming is passive, vague, and without emotional intensity. Visualization is active, specific, and charged with burning desire. When you visualize correctly, you are literally programming your subconscious mind for success and training your nervous system to perform at peak levels. Here is how the masters of achievement use visualization. They create detailed mental movies of themselves succeeding, complete with sights, sounds, emotions, and physical sensations. They see themselves walking with confidence, speaking with authority, making decisions with clarity, and overcoming obstacles with determination. They feel the satisfaction of achievement, the respect of others, and the deep inner peace that comes from knowing they are living their purpose. But they do not stop there. They run these mental movies repeatedly with the same intensity and focus a professional athlete brings to physical training. Just as an athlete builds muscle memory through repetition, you build success memory through visualization. Consider the professional golfer who spends hours visualizing the perfect swing before ever stepping onto the course. He sees the ball's trajectory, feels the club's impact, hears the satisfying sound of a perfect shot. When he finally takes his actual swing, his body naturally reproduces what his mind has already perfected. You must approach your visualization with this same level of intensity and precision. If your goal is to become an influential leader, see yourself commanding respect in meetings, making decisions that benefit everyone, inspiring others to achieve their best. Feel the confidence flowing through your body. Hear the appreciation in people's voices. Experience the deep satisfaction of knowing you are making a difference. If your goal is financial independence, visualize yourself making smart investment decisions, building multiple streams of income, enjoying the security and freedom that wealth provides. See the numbers in your bank account. Feel the stress-free sensation of knowing you can handle any financial challenge. Experience the joy of being able to help others because you have achieved abundance. The key is consistency and emotional intensity. Spend at least 20 minutes each day in focused visualization and watch as your external world begins to mirror your internal images. In the battlefield of life, emotions can be either your greatest weapon or your deadliest enemy. The untrained individual becomes a slave to his emotions, reacting impulsively to every criticism, every setback, every challenge. The person of unshakable confidence has learned to maintain emotional detachment, not coldness or indifference, but the ability to remain calm and strategic regardless of external circumstances. Emotional detachment does not mean you become a robot without feelings. It means you become the master of your emotions rather than their victim. It means you respond to situations based on what will serve your long-term success, not on what feels good in the moment. Think of emotional detachment as a protective armor that shields you from the arrows of criticism, the poison of doubt, and the infections of other people's fears and limitations. With this armor, you can walk through any storm unscathed, maintaining your focus on your objectives while others are blown off course by every gust of wind. Here is a practical example. Imagine you have just presented a revolutionary idea to a group of colleagues, and they respond with skepticism, criticism, and outright rejection. The emotionally reactive person becomes defensive, angry, or discouraged. He takes their response personally and either abandons his idea or wastes energy trying to convince people who are not ready to understand. The emotionally detached person responds differently. He recognizes that their reaction says, nothing about the value of his idea and everything about their current level of understanding and openness to change. He does not waste energy being hurt or angry. Instead, he calmly evaluates whether their feedback contains any useful information, then continues pursuing his vision through more receptive channels. This is the difference between emotional slavery and emotional mastery. The emotionally detached person is not cold or uncaring. He simply refuses to allow temporary emotions to derail his permanent objectives. Develop this ability by practicing the pause. When someone or something triggers a strong emotional response in you, do not react immediately. Take a deep breath, count to 10, and ask yourself, what response would serve my long-term interests best? This simple practice will gradually build your emotional detachment muscles until maintaining your composure becomes second nature. Remember, your emotional state is always a choice. You can choose to be offended, or you can choose to be strategically indifferent. You can choose to be devastated by setbacks, or you can choose to view them as temporary inconveniences on your path to victory. Mental toughness is not about being harsh or rigid. It is about developing the inner strength to persist when others quit, to maintain your standards when others compromise, and to stay focused on your vision when others are distracted by temporary circumstances. Mental toughness is like physical fitness. It must be developed through consistent training and challenged through progressively difficult tests. Just as a muscle grows stronger when subjected to resistance, your mental toughness grows stronger when you choose the difficult path over the easy one, when you maintain your integrity under pressure, when you persist despite obstacles. Most people live their lives seeking comfort, avoiding challenges, and taking the path of least resistance. They wonder why they feel weak, unfulfilled, and lacking in confidence. The answer is simple. They have never tested themselves. They have never discovered what they are truly capable of achieving. You must deliberately seek out challenges that will forge your mental toughness. Set goals that stretch you beyond your current capabilities. Put yourself in situations where success is not guaranteed. Volunteer for the difficult assignments that others avoid. This is how you build the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing you can handle whatever life throws at you. Consider the entrepreneur who starts a business knowing that statistics show most new businesses fail. The mentally tough entrepreneur does not ignore this reality. He prepares for it. He builds multiple contingency plans, saves extra capital, and develops the skills needed to pivot when necessary. Most importantly, he commits to persisting through the inevitable setbacks until he achieves success. Mental toughness also means maintaining your standards regardless of external pressure. When others around you are cutting corners, compromising their values, or settling for mediocrity, you maintain your commitment to excellence. When the crowd is panicking, you remain calm. When others are complaining, you are problem solving. This is not about being superior to others. It is about being superior to your former self. It is about becoming someone you can respect and admire, someone others naturally look to for leadership and guidance. Build your mental toughness by embracing discomfort. Take cold showers. Exercise when you do not feel like it. Have difficult conversations you have been avoiding. Do the work that others find too boring or challenging. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, you add another layer to your mental armor. In a world where everyone is talking, the person who has mastered strategic silence possesses a tremendous advantage. Strategic silence is not about being antisocial or withdrawn. It is about understanding when to speak and when to listen, when to reveal your plans and when to keep them private, when to engage and when to conserve your energy for more important battles. Most people feel compelled to share every thought, defend every position, and engage in every argument. They scatter their energy like seeds in a windstorm, accomplishing nothing of significance. The person of unshakable confidence understands that silence can be more powerful than speech, that mystery can be more influential than revelation, that careful timing can be more effective than constant action. Strategic silence serves multiple purposes. First, it protects your plans from the negative influence of skeptics and doubters. When you share your dreams with people who lack vision, they will unconsciously or deliberately plant seeds of doubt in your mind. When you keep your plans private until they are strong enough to withstand criticism, you maintain the pure energy needed to bring them to reality. Second, strategic silence allows you to observe and understand others more clearly. While they are busy talking and revealing their weaknesses, their motivations, and their limitations, you are gathering intelligence that will serve you in future interactions. The person who talks the most learns the least. The person who listens the most gains power. Third, strategic silence creates an aura of strength and mystery that draws others to you. People are naturally attracted to those who seem to possess knowledge or power they do not fully understand. When you speak less but say more, when your words carry weight because they are carefully chosen, others begin to view you as someone worth listening to and following. Here is how to implement strategic silence. Before speaking in any situation, ask yourself whether your words will serve a specific purpose. Are you about to speak because you have something valuable to contribute, or are you speaking merely to fill silence, to defend your ego, or to seek approval? If your words do not advance your objectives or genuinely help others, remain silent. When others are gossiping, complaining, or engaging in negative conversations, do not participate. Your silence will speak volumes about your character and protect your mind from contamination. When people ask about your future plans, share only what is necessary and keep the details to yourself until you have achieved results worth discussing. Practice the art of the meaningful pause. When someone asks you a question, especially a challenging one, take a moment to consider your response. This pause demonstrates that you think before you speak, and it gives your words greater impact when you do respond. Remember, empty vessels make the most noise. Filled vessels, those with substance, knowledge, and purpose, can afford to be selective about when and how they express themselves, this is perhaps the most crucial principle for developing unshakable confidence. You must become completely independent from the need for external validation. As long as your sense of worth depends on what others think of you, you will remain a slave to their opinions, moods, and limitations. The validation-dependent person is like a leaf blown by every wind. When others praise them, they feel temporarily powerful. When others criticize them, they feel devastated. They make decisions based on what will gain approval rather than what will serve their objectives. They compromise their values to fit in, abandon their dreams to avoid criticism, and live their entire lives as prisoners of other people's expectations. The validation independent person operates from an internal compass. Their sense of worth comes from their own standards of excellence, their commitment to their values, and their progress toward their objectives. They welcome constructive feedback, but are not dependent on it. They appreciate praise, but do not need it. They are immune to criticism that is not based on facts and helpful intentions. This independence is not arrogance or indifference to others. It is self-respect and self-reliance. It is the confidence that comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for, and where you are going, regardless of whether others understand or approve. Consider the difference between two business leaders. The first leader makes decisions based on what will make him popular with his employees, even when those decisions hurt the long-term health of the company. He avoids difficult conversations, compromises on standards, and allows performance issues to persist because he fears being disliked. Eventually, his need for approval leads to the failure of the business and the loss of the very approval he was seeking. The second leader makes decisions based on what is best for the company's success and the long-term welfare of all employees. She has difficult conversations when necessary, maintains high standards, and makes unpopular decisions when they serve the greater good. Some people may initially resist her leadership, but they ultimately respect her strength and trust her judgment. The business thrives under her guidance. The difference is validation independence. The second leader's confidence comes from within, allowing her to do what is right regardless of immediate reactions. Develop this independence by creating your own standards of success. Define what achievement means. Choose to you based on your values and objectives, not on society's definitions or other people's expectations. Celebrate your progress toward these standards, even when others do not recognize it. Learn to be your own greatest source of encouragement and motivation. Practice making decisions based on your principles rather than on what will gain approval. Start with small decisions: what to wear, what to eat, how to spend your free time, and gradually work up to larger ones. Each time you choose authenticity over approval, you strengthen your independence and build unshakable confidence. Adversity is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your trainer, and your opportunity to become unshakable. Every challenge you face is life's way of asking you a question: are you ready to rise to the next level of your potential, or will you remain where you are? Most people view adversity as evidence that something is wrong, that they are unlucky, or that life is unfair. They waste enormous energy complaining, blaming, and feeling sorry for themselves. The person who understands the true nature of adversity welcomes it as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Every successful person in history has faced significant adversity and used it as a stepping stone to greatness. Abraham Lincoln failed in business and politics multiple times before becoming one of America's greatest presidents. Oprah Winfrey overcame poverty, abuse, and discrimination to become one of the world's most influential media personalities. Henry Ford went bankrupt twice before creating the automotive empire that revolutionized transportation. What separated these individuals from those who were defeated by similar challenges? They understood that adversity is temporary, but the strength gained from overcoming it is permanent. They recognized that every obstacle contains within it the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. When you face adversity, you have two choices. You can become bitter, or you can become better. Bitterness is the choice of the weak-minded person who believes life owes him something. He focuses on what went wrong, who is to blame, and why things are unfair. This focus keeps him trapped in victim consciousness, unable to see opportunities for growth and improvement. Becoming better is the choice of the strong-minded person who takes responsibility for his response to adversity. He asks empowering questions. What can I learn from this situation? How can this challenge make me stronger? What opportunities might be hidden within this obstacle? How can I use this experience to help others who face similar challenges? Here is the process for transforming any adversity into advantage. First, accept the situation completely. Resistance to what has already happened only wastes energy that could be used for solutions. Second, extract every possible lesson from the experience. What knowledge, skills, or insights can you gain? Third, identify the opportunities that adversity has created. Sometimes a job loss leads to a better career. Sometimes a failed relationship opens the door to true love. Sometimes a health crisis motivates lifestyle changes that result in better overall well-being. Finally, use your experience to develop empathy and the ability to help others facing similar challenges. Your adversity becomes your qualification to serve others, creating meaning and purpose from what initially seemed like meaningless suffering. Remember, diamonds are created under pressure, steel is forged in fire, and unshakable confidence is built through successfully navigating life's storms. Each challenge you overcome adds another layer to your inner strength and proves to yourself that you are capable of handling whatever life presents. Persistence is the master key that opens all doors. It is the difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who abandon them at the first sign of difficulty. Persistence is not about being stubborn or refusing to change course when necessary. It is about maintaining unwavering commitment to your ultimate objective while remaining flexible about the methods used to achieve it. Most people give up just before their breakthrough. They plant seeds but do not water them long enough for the harvest. They start projects but abandon them when initial results do not meet their expectations. They set goals but change them whenever obstacles appear. This is not persistence. This is the behavior of someone who has never learned to distinguish between temporary setbacks and permanent failure. True persistence requires three essential elements: burning desire, unwavering faith, and systematic action. Burning desire provides the fuel that keeps you moving when others quit. Unwavering faith gives you the confidence to continue when evidence suggests you should stop. Systematic action ensures that your persistence is productive rather than merely stubborn. Consider the story of Colonel Sanders, who at age 65 faced rejection 1,009 times before finding a restaurant willing to use his chicken recipe. Lesser individuals would have given up after 10 rejections, convinced that their idea had no value. Sanders understood that each rejection was simply one step closer to the yes that would change his life. Kentucky Fried Chicken became a global empire because one man refused to quit. Your persistence must be intelligent and strategic. This means regularly evaluating your methods while never wavering in your commitment to your objective. If one approach is not working, try another. If one door closes, look for a window. If one path is blocked, find an alternative route. But never, ever give up on your dream. Persistence also requires the ability to delay gratification. In our instant everything society, most people expect immediate results and become discouraged when success takes time to materialize. The person of unshakable confidence understands that all worthwhile achievements require time to develop, just as all lasting structures require strong foundations. Develop your persistence by setting progressively challenging goals and refusing to quit until you achieve them. Start with smaller goals that stretch you but are achievable within a reasonable time frame. As you build your track record of persistent achievement, gradually increase the difficulty and duration of your objectives. Create accountability systems that make quitting more difficult than continuing. Share your goals with trusted friends who will support your persistence. Invest money in your objectives so that quitting has a financial cost. Create public commitments that would be embarrassing to abandon. Most importantly, focus on the process rather than just the outcome. Find ways to enjoy the journey of persistent effort, celebrating small victories along the way and learning from every setback. When persistence becomes a source of satisfaction rather than suffering, you become virtually unstoppable. Knowledge without action is worthless, and action without a system is chaotic. You now possess the principles of unshakable confidence, but principles alone will not transform your life. You need a systematic approach to implementing these ideas until they become as natural as breathing. Sustained transformation requires the creation of new habits that align with your desired identity. You cannot continue thinking, feeling, and acting like your old self while expecting to become someone new. You must systematically replace limiting patterns with empowering, ones until your new identity becomes your dominant reality. Here is your blueprint for transformation first. Conduct a thorough inventory of your current mental habits. What thoughts dominate your mind throughout the day? How do you typically respond to challenges, criticism, and opportunities? What beliefs do you hold about your capabilities and potential? Be brutally honest in this assessment. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Second, design your ideal mental and emotional patterns. How would the most confident version of yourself think, feel, and act in various situations? What beliefs would support your highest potential? What responses would serve your long-term objectives? Create detailed descriptions of these ideal patterns. They will become your targets for transformation. Third, create specific daily practices that bridge the gap between your current patterns and your ideal ones. These might include morning visualization sessions, evening reflection periods, physical exercise routines that build confidence, reading that expands your knowledge, or networking activities that stretch your comfort zone. Fourth, implement these practices consistently for at least 90 days. Research shows that it takes approximately this long for new neural pathways to become established and new habits to feel natural. During this period, track your progress daily, celebrate small victories, and make adjustments as needed. Fifth, surround yourself with people, environments, and influences that support your transformation. Limit exposure to negative people and media. Seek out mentors and role models who embody the confidence you are developing. Join groups and communities that share your commitment to growth and excellence. 6, regularly challenge yourself with progressively difficult goals that require you to embody your new confident identity. Each success will reinforce your transformation and build evidence that you are indeed becoming the person you have visualized. Remember that transformation is not a destination, but a continuous process. The person of unshakable confidence never stops growing, learning, and evolving. They understand that confidence is not a fixed trait, but a skill that can always be refined and strengthened. You have reached the crossroads where knowledge meets decision, where inspiration meets action, where dreams meet reality. Everything you have learned means nothing if you do not act upon it immediately and consistently. The principles of unshakable confidence are not suggestions. They are requirements for anyone who refuses to settle for mediocrity. You cannot dabble with these ideas and expect transformation. You cannot apply them occasionally and expect permanent results. You must commit fully, act decisively, and persist relentlessly. Right now, at this very moment, you are making a choice that will determine the direction of your life. You can choose to let these ideas inspire you temporarily and then return to your old patterns of doubt and limitation. Or you can choose to embrace these principles completely and begin the journey toward unshakable confidence today. The world does not need another person who knows what to do but fails to do it. The world needs leaders who embody confidence, strength, and determination. It needs individuals who can remain calm in storms, make difficult decisions under pressure, and inspire others through their example. You have the knowledge. You have the tools. You have the potential. The only question remaining is whether you have the courage to use them. Will you be among the few who transform knowledge into action and dreams into reality? Or will you remain among the many who settle for mediocrity and regret? The choice is yours, and the time is now. Your future self is waiting to meet the person you have the potential to become. Do not keep them waiting any longer. Begin now. Begin with unwavering faith in your ability to become unshakable, unstoppable, and utterly confident in your power to achieve whatever you set your mind to accomplish. The path to unshakable confidence lies before you. Take the first step